Hi, my name is Kathy Maceo, and we're here at the Canoe Club of Hammonton, and we thought about doing a feel-good project, Valentine's Day cards for the veterans at the Vineland home. How it started was there used to be, through the Anonymous Warrior, you could send cards to Walter Reed Hospital for those that had been there for a long time recuperating, whatever. Well, when I made some contacts to find out that they no longer accept cards there. So then I said, okay, we have to do something that's close to home. And I worked in Vineland for 11 years for Sunbank. We used to do a community day, and we would go to the Vineland home and we would play bingo with the residents there. So I thought, what's a better way of doing it than to do it somewhat local, even as though it's not here in Hammonton. So we just purchased some paper at Walmart, we cut it and designed a card, and inside I wrote a hand message that says, thank you for your service, happy Valentine's Day, the Canoe Club Seniors of Hammonton, New Jersey. So if they're fully occupied, there are 384 residents there. So that's what our goal is, to do 384 cards. This is a hidden gem down here. I mean, we're repeat. We come here several times a week because we absolutely love it here.
Hi, my name is Suzanne Denninger, and we are making Valentine's cards, and we're putting these hearts inside. We thought it was a great idea, and so then I found a pattern, and we kept experimenting until we found the perfect one. And we're hoping that the gentlemen love it, because those guys are sweet.
We want them to know that they're not forgotten, and we're grateful for their service. We wanted to show a little bit of affection to let them know that they're thought about and loved. So I have a grandson that's in the service now. It means so much to me to thank him for his service, a young man deciding to protect us. I pray for him every day, and I pray for all the veterans. Seniors of Hammonton did not forget you. And have a nice Valentine's Day. We love you.
Hi, my name's Joanne Adolph. We're here at the Canoe Club Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10 to 4. Come join us.
Hi, I'm Kathy Maceo, and we are here at the Vineland Memorial Veterans Home. We've just distributed our Valentine cards that we made for the residents, and they're already playing bingo. I truly believe that the veterans are forgotten, and it is something close to my heart. I feel that they deserve a lot more than they currently receive, and I think that's why it was important to all of us. Did have one lady ask me, did you make this card for us? She was very excited about it. She opened it up, and there was another gentleman that saw the heart, and he said, oh, a heart, just what I needed. I think it was well received, even though we couldn't see their smiles because we all had masks on, but you could tell by their body that they were excited to receive them. And I look forward to continue doing this in the future. We're not just highlighting the veterans that live in Vineland. Tonight and 2 other evenings, we're going to be giving the cards out to the VFW, to the Disabled American Veterans, and the American Legion here in Hammonton. So we want everybody to know that we do think of our own as well. A message from the Canoe Club to all our veterans and to our residents of Hammonton. Happy Valentine's Day. Don't eat too much chocolate.
name is Kathy Maceo, and we're here at the Canoe Club of Hammonton, and we thought about doing a feel-good project, Valentine's Day cards for the veterans at the Vineland home. How it started was there used to be, through the Anonymous Warrior, you could send cards to Walter Reed Hospital for those that have been there for a long time recuperating, whatever. Well, when I made some contacts to find out that they no longer accept cards there. So then I said, okay, we have to do something that's close to home. And I worked in Vineland for 11 years for Sunbank. We used to do a community day, and we would go to the Vineland home and we would play bingo with the residents there. So I thought, what's a better way of doing it than to do it somewhat local, even as though it's not here in Hammonton. So we just purchased some paper at Walmart, we cut it and designed a card, and inside I wrote a hand message that says, thank you for your service, happy Valentine's Day, the Canoe Club Seniors of Hammonton, New Jersey. So if they're fully occupied, there are 384 residents there. So that's what our goal is, to do 384 cards. This is a hidden gem down here. I mean, we're repeat. We come here several times a week because we absolutely love it here.
Hi, my name is Suzanne Denninger, and we are making Valentine's cards, and we're putting these hearts inside. We thought it was a great idea, and so then I found a pattern, and we kept experimenting until we found the perfect one. And we're hoping that the gentlemen love it, because those guys are sweet.
We want them to know that they're not forgotten, and we're grateful for their service. We wanted to show a little bit of affection to let them know that they're thought about and loved. So I have a grandson that's in the service now. It means so much to me to thank him for his service, a young man deciding to protect us. I pray for him every day, and I pray for all the veterans. Seniors of Hammonton did not forget you. And have a nice Valentine's Day. We love you.
Hi, my name's Joanne Adolph. We're here at the Canoe Club Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10 to 4. Come join us.
Hi, I'm Kathy Maceo, and we are here at the Vineland Memorial Veterans Home. We've just distributed our Valentine cards that we made for the residents, and they're already playing bingo. I truly believe that the veterans are forgotten, and it is something close to my heart.
All right, good evening, Hammonton. It's 7 o'clock on February 24th. We're in closed session for an hour prior. Roll call, please, again, Frank.
Councilperson Fajoni?
Here.
Gribben?
Here.
Marino?
Here.
Oliva is absent tonight. R. Rodeo?
Here.
S. Rodeo?
Here.
Mayor DiDonato?
Here.
Present also Mike Malinsky, Town Solicitor. Rich Raymond of ARH. Notice of this meeting has been posted and given to official newspapers. Please familiarize yourself with the fire exits to right and rear of council chambers. Please do not proceed beyond the front benches without invitation in the matter to do so. Also, each person who wishes to address council will be allotted 5 minutes.
All rise for the pledge, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public to be heard on action items. If anybody wants to be heard on action items, come on up to the mic. If it's in regards to the water, we're going to have a whole portion on that, so you'll have plenty of time to speak. But if there's any other action item, come on up now. Seeing no one, I'll close the first public portion. Can I get approval of the minutes of January 27th, the regular and executive session, please?
Motion, Mayor.
Marino first.
Second.
Second, R. Rodeo. Discussion on the minutes. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. First, we'll go into presentations. You want to do Oak Grove Cemetery first, Deputy Mayor Gribben?
Yes, thank you. Gentlemen, grab the handheld. Thank you. So I'd like to call up members of the Oak Grove Cemetery Board of Directors, as we have a presentation to make commemorating their 165th anniversary in Hammonton. Thank you for being here tonight. We have a proclamation on behalf of Mayor and Council, and I'll read it as it states. Whereas the town of Hammonton wishes to congratulate Oak Grove Cemetery on their 165th anniversary. And whereas Oak Grove Cemetery is Hammonton's oldest active cemetery and one of the oldest active private cemeteries in Atlantic County. The Oak Grove Cemetery Association was incorporated on February 22nd, 1860. On June 4th of that year, the association bought a 10-acre parcel of land from Michael and Mary Landis, whose son Charles helped develop Hammonton before founding Vineland and Sea Isle City. And they bought that for the sum of $1. 2 months later, Oak Grove Cemetery welcomed its first resident, a 1-year-old Frederick Cathcart, who died on August 11th, 1860, and whose stone is believed to be the oldest in Hammonton. And whereas since its inception, Oak Grove Cemetery has welcomed and cared for more than 4,000 residents of all faiths, ethnicities, and identities. Among its residents are early settlers from England and abroad, town officials, notable locals, and more, including celebrated painter George Washington Nicholson, Emmanuel Persico, one of the founders of the Our Lady of Mount Carmel Festival, the longest running Italian festival in the nation, James Capon Adams, whose brother John used his identity and became famous the world over as Grizzly Adams, Mary Conkey Peebles, whose husband, Dr. James M. Peebles, was an author, physician, and diplomat of note, United States District Attorney Charles M. Phillips, Willis Beach, convicted in the murder of Dr. A. William Liliendahl, close enough, a trial that gripped the nation in 1927. And whereas Oak Grove Cemetery has witnessed its share of local history, including the incorporation of Hammonton on March 5th, 1866, the construction of the White Horse Pike along its northeastern border in 1927, the building of Hammonton High School located across Old Forks Road in 2002. In recent years, the cemetery saw the completion of its Veterans Memorial, funded completely through donor contributions in 2022, and was selected as the permanent home of Hammonton's Salem oak seedling, due in no small part to its collection of oak trees, as well as the fact that the original Salem oak was located in a cemetery, ensuring not only thematic continuity, but also that the land will, by law, remain a cemetery in perpetuity, allowing the seedling to grow and thrive in the coming centuries. The Salem oak at Hammonton was planted on Arbor Day of 2024 and was dedicated on November 9th of that year. And whereas the Board of Trustees of the Oak Grove Cemetery Association remains committed to preserving the history and legacy associated with its groundings, its residents, and its duties, work diligently to ensure that the cemetery will continue to care for those in its charge and welcome new residents with peace, dignity, and beauty for generations to come. Therefore, be it resolved that Mayor and Council of the Town of Hammonton, County of Atlantic, and State of New Jersey do hereby recognize and express their congratulations to Oak Grove Cemetery on this, the 24th day of February, 2025. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Want to get everyone in here? Put this down. Go. Sorry. And Joe, we provided you 2 proclamations here, and you can use this microphone if you'd like to say a few words on behalf of the association. Thank you. Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Gribben, Mayor and Council. For the dozen or so of you in the town of Hammonton who don't know, my name is Joe Baronato. I am the caretaker of Oak Grove Cemetery and also the Secretary and Treasurer to its Board of Trustees. And on behalf of our President, Carlton Skip Measley, here, our Vice President, James Bertino, and our board members, Ann D'Onofrio, Judy DeFicio, Marcia Lasasso, Lisa Maeli Howell, William H. Parkhurst III, and Sam Sophia Jr., we are honored and humbled to receive this recognition this evening. It has been our privilege to serve the community for 165 years, and we look forward to doing so for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Congratulations and good luck. Thank you. Chief, you want to come up? We have a couple swearing-ins and promotions.
Okay. This evening, we have a swearing-in that was supposed to occur in our meeting last month, but due to the fact that the gentleman who was being promoted was injured in a critical incident and was out for a while, we held off, and we'll make it this evening so that this way he can enjoy it fully with his family. The gentleman I'm referring to is Sergeant John Amendolia. He is a graduate of Hammonton High School, is an over 17-year veteran with the 177 Fighter Wing Squadron. He is currently an E7 Master Sergeant. He was involved in 2 deployments, 2010 in Iraq, Operation Iraqi Freedom, 2023 in Jordan in Operation Inherent Resolve. He was a member of the Atlantic County Sheriff's Department from 2012 through 2015. In 2015, he was hired here at the Hammonton Police Department. He's been a member of our county SWAT team from 2017 through to 2024. He was elevated to the appointment of corporal in March of 2024, and he was appointed to a detective position in March 2024 through January of 2025. He is one of our pistol and rifle instructors and an all-around great guy. I'd like to call forward Sergeant John Amendolia with his family.
Come on up front and Deputy Mayor Gribben will swear you in. Got a couple good-looking kids there. God bless. You can have them. Take them home. I didn't realize you said that. Raise your right hand.
All right. So, I, John Amendolia III,
I, John Mendeley III,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all duties required of me
all duties required of me
as police sergeant,
as police sergeant,
effective January 1st, 2025,
effective January 1st, 2025,
for the town of Hammonton,
for the town of Hammonton,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
I further affirm
I further affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of New Jersey,
and the state of New Jersey.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
The next person that I'm going to call forward has been an employee with us since January of 2019. She is a graduate of Cedar Creek High School. She attended Stockton University, has a Bachelor in Science in Health and Science. She has been a veteran for 10 years with the 177th Fighter Wing Security Forces. She's currently a technical sergeant. She was involved in 2 deployments during that time frame. In 2021, Afghanistan, Operation Spartan Shield, and again in 2023 in Saudi Arabia, she was deployed under Operation Spartan Shield. She is a wonderful asset to our agency. I would like to bring forward for appointment to the position of Corporal, Corporal Casey Hendrickson.
Can I get a motion from council for the appointment, please?
Mayor, I'm proud to make the motion to promote Casey Hendrickson to corporal.
Marino first.
Second.
Second, Gribben. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Councilperson Fagioni?
Yes.
Gribben?
Yes.
Marino?
Yes.
R. Rodeo?
Yes.
S. Rodeo?
Yes.
Mayor DiDonato?
Yes, motion carried. Congratulations. Let's swear you in. Congratulations on many fronts.
Yes.
I, Casey Hendrickson,
Casey Hendrickson,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all duties required of me as police corporal,
all duties required of me as police corporal,
effective February 24th, 2025,
effective February 24th, 2025,
for the town of Hammonton,
for the town of Hammonton,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
I further affirm
I further affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of New Jersey,
and the state of New Jersey.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And for our final presentation this evening, each year we like to recognize an officer who has gone above and beyond for service to the department and service to the community. As I look in the audience, there's probably some people out here that were affected last year. Last year, the town of Hammonton got hit several times for the U.S. Postal Service. There were checks, items taken from the U.S. Postal Service. An officer of ours got very, very entrenched in working that case and wound up with a total of 10 individuals that were charged with over 297 charges cumulatively. And that officer has the tenacity of, I guess, like a rattlesnake. He doesn't let go. Once he starts, he keeps going. And I am lucky to say that this year we were able to move him up into our detective bureau. So he is now a detective in our detective unit. I would like to call up, he is a graduate of St. Joe High School. He has a Bachelor of Arts in Law and Justice from Rowan University. He was hired by our agency also in 2019. He was appointed to corporal in 2024, and beginning of this year, he was brought up into our detective bureau as a detective. I would like to call up our Officer of the Year for 2024, Officer Christopher Henshaw.
You can tell he's a Henshaw. He's a man of few words.
Congratulations. It's actually our family motto is esse quantineri. It means to be rather than to see.
Chief, thank you, and thank you to all the men and women in blue for keeping us safe and making it easier to sleep at night. We're very lucky to have a police department like we have here in Hammonton, and God bless each and every one of you, and Godspeed and stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you all.
With that, they get a call. Next, we have a, Rich, you want to move in the presentation on, I guess, the water extension out in Cypress, Mill Run, Mossview Lane.
Holly, Poplar.
Thank you.
Thank you. Could everybody see that map? If you can't see that map, that's where we're going. You're more than welcome if you want to grab this one and pass it around.
It's the same map.
See, yeah. Could you all see it?
Yeah.
This way you know, okay. And it's a portion of Moss Mill also. I'm sorry.
Okay. Now we're going to get excited about water after that presentation, so thanks for my spot on the agenda. So I'm here to present to you a project that's a potential project that the town council.
Rich, wait 1 second.
I like the handheld.
I'm sorry.
Give them the handheld, just in case. This way, make sure they hear them at home.
People at home, yeah, especially for this.
This is important.
Okay. Is that better? I think so. Okay, so I'm here to help present a project that the town's considering for extending water main in the Lakeview area of the town. So the main thrust behind this potential project is in this area there have been some private wells that have been tested positive for PFAS, for contamination. So the potential of that contamination getting worse and other private wells being contaminated in the future, the town council decided let's investigate extending water main into this area. So the area that you see on the map and on your pages there, the shaded areas are the properties that will be affected. Potentially about 50 private homes where water service will be now available. There's about 4,400 feet of water main. We're going to use that main. That main's going to be in the street, and we're going to be extending some fire hydrants in the area as well, maybe 6 or 7 fire hydrants. So the benefits of the project will be potentially safer drinking water, increased pressures in the overall system, better management of the system itself, and then also some fire safety protection for the homes in the area. So there's some benefits to the project. The project's going to connect into existing water mains. Cypress, the mayor rattled them off, right? Cypress Court will be serviced with this project, Poplar Street, Mossview Lane, Mill Run Drive, and a portion of Moss Mill Road. So the project's pretty simple from our engineering perspective. We've coordinated with utility companies to avoid utility conflicts. We're going to install the water main. We're going to install services, service from the main to a curb stop for your property. And the town council is going to waive some fees. They're going to provide some opportunity for you to hook up, and your option is to hook up or to not hook up. Some of you that have POET systems, I'm sure you understand you need to test that water periodically. There's some requirements for testing of that. If you have private wells, there's options for you. You can hook up, potentially keep your well, take your existing well if you hook up, and disconnect it from your house and the system so there's no potential cross-contamination, would be our recommendation to the town council to require that. And then, of course, once you do anything, you have requirements for the wells and for reporting for that. So the bottom line is investigating the opportunity of extending water main in this area, providing you with water services, the option to hook up, and then go from there. So the idea here is to present that to you, gather any questions, so we can finish our design, and then town council can decide whether or not to continue on with the project. Let's see. If you want to know the project length of time, we're estimating about 60 days of construction, coordinated so that you can get in and out of your driveway. It's not 60 days of no access, of course. And it's about, our estimate right now, it's about $1.1 to $1.2 million project. So it's not an insignificant project. Council's doing it for your safety and protection, and that's all I have. And I'd like to take allow the council to provide some more comment and then take some questions.
Carl, you want to go?
So, yeah, thank you, Mr. Raymond, for preparing all this for us. This has been a project that's been going on for a while, as I'm sure the residents out there are aware of. We were notified a couple of years ago that some of the private wells out there tested positive for PFAS in varying degrees. So we started exploring it and to see what we can come up with to help everyone out there. A couple of things to keep in mind here. In the past, the state has picked up the tab for everything. They did that on Pine Basin, Oak, and Union Roads. That was about 10, 12 years ago, something like that. The state's, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The state's not going to participate in any kind of a cost reimbursement to the town, so we're going at this alone, unfortunately. But that's just where we are. As Mr. Raymond said, I know the biggest question is, can I keep my well for irrigation? The answer is, if you don't have a POET system, yes. You would have to get a plumber. They would have to decommission your well from the home, install a backflow outside. We would have to have our plumbing inspector inspect it to make sure, as Mr. Raymond said, there's no cross-contamination, and you'd be able to keep your well for irrigation, and we would then provide you with potable water for, for drinking and bathing purposes. In addition to that, we've kicked it around in Public Works, and we understand, public safety is first and foremost, and we want everyone to hook up for obvious reasons. So what we thought about doing is this. If you hook up within 6 months of us putting the project in, we will waive the $1,500 connection fee to hook up to the system. So you would be responsible with a plumber to go from your house to the curb or to the street and tie into our valve. We would waive that connection fee. If you don't hook up in the first 6 months, you need water in the future, then you would have to pay the connection fee. But we're looking at this as an incentive. Again, we're going at this alone, but we feel that this is a fair incentive to get as many residents as possible to hook up right away as the project is completed. A couple other things of note, what Mr. Raymond said, one of them, unfortunately, because there is so much public utility between the curb and the sidewalk, the project's going to have to go on the street. I know that's not ideal because we just paved that in the last couple of years. So we're going to the project would be to restore the trenches, and we're going to have to look and see where we go at that point in time, unfortunately. But, that's just the only way we could locate it. So you'll have a water main basically down the center of the road, and you'll have laterals going left or right to your homes to a valve. So there's going to be cuts in the road. That's how the project will be done. We're thinking the funding source for the project is a state loan program. It's called H2O loans. The advantage to the loan program through the state in this manner is, one, they typically provide some sort of either a small loan forgiveness to the town, or they do like a blended interest rate. So they might give you 75% market rate and 25% at zero, and it becomes a blended rate. It's a lower cost to borrow for the town. We won't know what we qualify for until we get a little bit further along here. But H2 loans will be the path we'd most likely take. In addition to that, once we put the paperwork in, it's about 4 to 6 months for them to approve it, right?
That's correct.
So you're looking at, if things go right, probably a fall-ish project. So that's kind of the gist of it. The couple wild cards, we don't know. The state may, if you have a POET system, they typically would fund you to hook up. I don't think that's going to be the case here. So you would have the option still to keep your well for irrigation and decommission your POET system.
That's correct, yep.
Right, at that point in time. The state or the vendor who put it in would come and take it off, and you'd have the ability to use your well for irrigation purposes only. That's the broad strokes of the project. Do you have anything else you want to add, Mayor?
Now, I know I had a couple calls from residents, do I have to hook up? And the answer is no, you don't have to hook up. We're going to run water in front of your house, and you don't have to hook up now. You can keep your well if you'd like and stay the way you are.
Is that in every case, in any case?
That's in any case.
How much could you save by not running?
Come on up to the mic, come on up to the mic, come on up to the mic. Yeah, so that's, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm sorry, can you state your name and address for the record, please?
Say that again?
Can you just state your name and address for the record?
Okay,
Thank you.
Irv Cohen, 751 Moss Mill Road.
Thank you.
Intersects with Moss View. So the question is, can you keep your well without hooking into the system? And how much could you save by not doing it at all?
Okay.
I mean, why?
Do you have a
are you
POET,
doing
let's
it?
take one case at a time. Do you have a POET system on your house right now? From the
No.
state? No.
No, we
Okay.
do not.
So if you don't have a POET system, okay?
We have a well.
Right.
And we
Yeah.
put a lot into the well, and we have things inside that we spend a lot of money for.
Yeah, so if you could stay the way you are. But if your water ever tests,
It already did test. You asked for volunteers, you sent somebody out to test my water. I told them, do not test that water, test it inside or test the well directly. Don't test it while I'm not there. They did it anyway. They hung something on my door and said, oh, well, we tested it. And then somebody came out and said, oh, well, you tested for PFAS positively. So will I still be able to drink the water? Or, I mean, will I still be able to use the water? Or will I now be forced to hook up to that system? I mean, I volunteered.
so you tested
I
positive?
volunteered, and you charged me $400 to volunteer to do it. And the last time I tested my well, it was for mercury, and it was $35 from the county to test it. So, you know, I think if it hadn't been tested, I would have no problem at all. I don't care if other people want to hook into it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to be forced to do it. And, you know.
Nobody can force you to do anything you don't want to, sir. If you want to stay with a well that has PFAS in it, that's a known cancer-causing agent, that's your decision.
I don't think it has PFAS. I think they tested it from a spigot that was wrapped with Teflon tape, which we, have been doing for years.
If I were you, I would get another, okay, I have a well, just for the record, I have a well. I test my water annually.
Not for $400.
It's $900.
Oh, really?
It's $900. Yeah, the test,
But
the
you
test.
you don't have the option to hook up into.
Right, but we test it in case you need a conditioner to eliminate that PFAS.
Well, we have a conditioner, but I don't know, I never heard of PFAS before the guy came and tested the well. How about if I just never volunteered?
Well, there's a couple things
I mean,
here, too.
it's not like you went around and tested all the wells.
There's a couple.
You tested this well and that well, people who volunteered, you got mixed results, and you're using that as a pretense to run this line.
Well, a couple things, if I can, just jump in here. Number one, if your well tested positive for PFAS, okay, you would have to get a second test, and if the second test were positive, you would be eligible for the POET system.
I'd be eligible for what?
A POET system, a point of entry treatment system from the state. They would pay for that. However, if potable water is offered from a municipality, they will not give you a POET system. So those who have POET systems today, they could keep them and just use their well.
Well, how would you know if you don't require people that have their wells tested?
We can't require private individuals to test. We spend a lot of time and a lot of effort trying to educate the residents out there as to what we...
But I was not told when I was asked to volunteer to have my well tested why you were doing it.
There was correspondence sent explaining all this in detail.
No, that
Okay, well,
was not clear at all.
All right, so the long and short of it is, it's your well, it's your dwelling. If you don't want to hook up to the town's water, you don't have to. We just want you to be aware.
Under any condition that then I don't have to hook up to it.
No.
No.
But you can't, but you can't go to the state and get a conditioner to clean up that water and get the spill funds to pay for the remediation.
Well, there's two other things.
If he's not going to test the second time, it doesn't come into play.
But there's
No, it does, and here's how under our ordinance.
Yes, that's what I thought.
If he doesn't have to connect, anybody that has a private well doesn't have to make a connection to the water main if we provide the water main. Until such time as the existing on-site well fails. If the existing on-site well fails, then under the ordinance, they're required to connect to the water line. Failure, as we define it in our ordinance, is if the well has to be replaced or re-drilled. If the well has to be replaced or re-drilled in any way, shape, or form, they're legally required under ordinance to connect to the town water.
But if he doesn't allow us to take a second test, we can't prove it.
It doesn't matter. If we have a water line and it's within 200 feet, if their home is within 200 feet of that water line, their property is within 200 feet of that water line, under our ordinance, just similar to sewer, we made it, it's a requirement, this was done in 2002, that they have to connect. If their well fails, they have to connect.
But just so we're clear, when Mr. Malinsky says fails, he means as in the well basically runs dry. If the
Correct.
well fails a test, you're not required to hook up.
That's what we're talking
Not
about.
if it fails the test, if the well
Right,
itself.
that's what we're talking about, the
fails. Yes,
test.
yes.
We're talking about the test. He
Right.
does not.
Correct.
You do not have to do anything, sir.
He doesn't have to do anything
We're
regarding
not
a
worried
test.
about running out of water if we're on top of the aquifer.
You don't have to do anything. At such time, if your well fails and it runs dry, then you have to hook up.
There is one other.
Re-drill to replace.
If you want to drink contaminants in your water, you're on your own.
Well, I've been drinking it for 30 years now.
Okay.
I don't see the point.
So there's another thing too. We're getting a little bit off topic here, which is keep in mind, if you have a home and you sell your home with a private well, you will be required to have that well tested. If the well is tested and it comes back with PFAS, I'm going to assume that the buyer is going to say, you need to do something or you can't close on the deal. Whether that means tie in.
We'll do it at that time.
Okay. Look.
I mean, because that would be required of anybody that sold a home then.
Yes.
So there's nothing, at this point, if you do not want town water, your situation.
Well, I've had town water before. I prefer the water that we have now because I don't want chlorine in the water, and the smell is not great. It's not as bad as Philadelphia water, but it's, you know, it's got chlorine in it.
You're good to go.
It's bad.
You're good to go.
Okay, and even if I was forced to hook up to the town water, I could still use the well for irrigation.
Correct.
Yes.
You know, I would turn the conditioner that I'm using now around, and I would be able to encourage grass rather than moss.
Yep.
Because the water is very acidic.
Okay.
But I do just want to make this point again, and the mayor, myself, and Mr. Rodeo, we're in Public Works, and all of council is aware of this. We've been talking about this for a couple of years. We feel that it's enough of a public safety issue to run the water line. First and foremost, that we're responsible for, and if I'm saying something out of turn, please correct me, is public safety. That's number one. So we feel that it's important enough to run a line so that you guys have, the residents have potable, clean, clear drinking water. Number one. Number two, in an effort to encourage that, we're going to waive the connection fee. The second thing that you as residents charge us up with council is fiscal responsibility. And I could tell you, the reality of the situation is, Mr. Raymond said $1.2 million, add soft costs, you're at $1.4 million, $1.5 million. A project of this scope, 50 homes, we will never recoup that investment. So we're doing it because we understand there's a public safety situation here, and that's why we're doing this. So.
Well, you think there might be?
No, there is.
There is.
Definite documentation.
There is absolutely.
But you've tested other wells
Yes.
that haven't come back with PFAS.
But you have to-
Also
but-
in the same area
but
where you're going to run the line.
But what you really need to understand here is this. PFAS is what they consider a forever chemical. It may not be in your well today, but in that area of the aquifer, we've also found that those wells are shallower than, let's say, a newer home. It might not be there today, but it's going to be there at some point in time in that area. So if you're asking Steve or Joni's opinion, you'd be foolish not to hook up. You can keep your well for irrigation purposes. We're going to waive the connection fee. The cost to you is a plumbing inspector and to get a plumber to run the line from the house to the street for you. That's your cost to get safe water. As the mayor said, if you don't want to go down that road, we can't force you, but it just seems kind of silly to me.
I would just like to be assured that you can't force me to do it.
No, we can't force
Maybe
you.
I'll do
We
it.
cannot force you to do it.
Unless your well fails, okay? We
Right.
cannot force you to do
If it
it.
runs dry, then we have to.
We
run
cannot
the
force
well.
Required to be replaced or re-drilled.
We cannot force you to change, to hook up to the, and I also cannot force you to not pick up a revolver tonight and play Russian roulette with the gun to your head. And that's what I believe you're doing if you don't go to town water. This is a very serious health concern, and it will kill.
Are you planning to explain that to us tonight?
PFAS, look up PFAS, P-F-A-S. Do the research on the computer. It's a forever chemical. It doesn't go away. It's a cancer-causing agent. It will cause cancer in a human. It's not maybe, it's not, it possibly can. The odds of it causing a cancer in a human are close to 100%. So it's up to you if you want to, listen, it's a free country. You could do whatever you want. Sir, but if it were me, or if it were my loved one, or if you were my father, I would have a serious talk with you and sit you down and say, please, Dad, please, for me, hook up to town water. And that's what I would request tonight.
I would tell you, I'll give you the house, you can do it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
We got
Thank you. We got you. Thank you.
We're good.
Just a point of clarification. The emergence and existence of PFAS or any contaminant in your well didn't start 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago. We don't know when it started. So it could emerge tomorrow. It could have emerged 3 years ago. Again, your choice, but being there 30 years doesn't mean that it was contaminated for 30 years.
And I don't want to, I'm sorry, real quick, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but one other thing that I think everyone has to realize, the federal government moves very slowly. Nothing gets done in the federal government any kind of time frame that's what we consider reasonable. The the EPA is looking at this on the federal level, and they're going to start requiring states who provide municipal drinking water, states down to municipalities, to make sure we conform. And the testing parameters are getting so strict that what it equates to in terms of PFAS, and is this: if you filled up an Olympic-sized swimming pool with sand, EPA is trying to get that down to 4 grains of sand in an Olympic-sized pool. The testing parameters are getting so stringent, tight, whatever the right word is, that most testing agencies can't even get there yet. They're still trying to adapt tests to meet EPA's new standards, which are not out yet, probably going to be out in the next year or two, and then that'll trickle down to the states trickle down to the municipalities, or companies to provide drinking water. So that's what you're dealing with here. You're dealing with an EPA who's moving aggressively to combat this and deal with it. There's been major class action lawsuits with states settling with people, or, I guess companies or entities that produce these kind of contaminants. So that's what you're dealing with here. You're not dealing with, mercury. Mercury's bad, but this is way worse. So I'm sorry, I'm done.
Come on up, please. Come on up to the mic, please.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Chris Comis, and my mom lives at 114 Poplar Street, and we've had the well tested twice and came out positive, so we would like to connect to the town water system. What is the cost of capping the well? Is that part of that $1,500, or is there an additional fee to cap the well?
Okay. When they cap the well or grout the well, a well driller usually does that. And what they do is they fill that well. In some cases, they'll pop the pump out of there, if it's a submersible pump, and grout the well closed. So God forbid, nothing could go in that well. Like, God forbid, even a small, I don't know, who knows what can go in a 4-inch well. And usually it was about $600. It could be $1,000.
So you waive the $1,500?
We waive the hookup fee. You would have to grout your well closed.
Okay.
If you decide to do that, and bring a line from your home to the curb. And I would say a plumber could charge you another couple thousand for that. I would say all in, you'd probably have about, off the cuff, and please, $3,000 to get the public water system today.
And so what does the $1,500 cover?
In addition to that, if we don't waive the fee, it would be $4,500. In other words, right now, the town has an ordinance of $1,500, and we provide the meter, the horn it's called, and that's what the fees are.
Okay.
Okay? We're going to waive all those fees, so you just pay to grout the well closed, if you choose to do that, roughly $1,000, and the line from the house to the street.
Okay. Can you provide a list of plumbers and drillers on your website so we could contact them?
Can we do that, our solicitor?
No, we can't promote it.
But you can, any licensed plumber can do that. Any licensed plumber.
But you're not promoting anyone. You're giving us a choice of 3 or 4 of them that work in Hammonton. How hard is that?
You can, you can pick any, as the mayor said, any certified plumber you would like.
Okay.
Yeah.
We couldn't pick winners and losers.
Right.
That might, we don't
I get
want
it.
Because we might, in other words, I don't know how many licensed plumbers there are in the town, but by chance we miss one and then everybody gets all upset.
Fair enough. And my next question is, what is the source of PFAS in our water? Where does it come from?
Well,
go ahead. Yeah, there's the $1 million question. Go ahead.
I don't know if we can specifically answer that question. PFAS it comes from somewhere. It's not naturally occurring, so it comes from somewhere. I don't believe that anyone in the town has identified the source. We have not looked to identify the source. We just know that it exists in the water in that area.
Are we using it in
It could come from industry. It could come from industry, right?
Firefighting in phones.
Okay, so PFAS is in, years ago, they had Teflon frying pans, right? PFAS is in that. Fire equipment, fire retardant equipment that the firemen use, PFAS is in that.
Makeup.
Some makeups, PFAS is in that.
Fertilizers.
And fertilizer,
Certain
PFAS is in that.
And also, it's in most things that are waterproof. Waterproof jacket, it's in there. Your shoes, it's on them. Anything that has Scotch Guard, it's got PFAS. Now, I say that it may not be that way today, but it was that way up until a couple of years ago.
And I'd like to say one thing. In our family, we had some cancer, and they went up there, and she went fine. Everything went well, and they told us at Penn, we cannot detect where that came from. They have no idea. Every one of us in this room has it in some form or somewhere. Some of it turns active, some of us it doesn't. They still haven't to this day and detected it, and it's been 11 years now, and she's still here with me, I'll put it that way. But today, if you go to Penn, that's all I can speak for, because that's where she had everything done, they cannot tell you where it comes from, but they do know it's in every one of us in this room and in this country. Who knows, like they're saying, whether it could be hairdressing, whether it could be whatever. There's an area down towards Salem County where there's a lot of industry, a lot of oil refineries and all, and they still can't, and it's a high rate there, but they can't prove to that.
Well, I thank you for that. I
You're
have
welcome.
one final question,
Yes,
if you
ma'am.
will allow me. You said that this will start in the fall, the projects will start in the fall, and if we choose to go forward, who do we contact to put our name on the list to connect?
So, fall's approximate. We have to shore up the whole loan program. We will contact you. Yes, there will be correspondence. You will know that there's construction going on, and you will have some sort of a schedule, and then the procedures on how to hook up. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am,
you.
thank you. Come on up, please, come on up, come on up, come on up to the mic.
I just have one other question. To be clear, if your well is tested positively for PFAS and you hook up to the public water supply, will you be required to cap your well?
No, you could still use that well for irrigation only. Okay?
They will come and inspect.
You can
Yes.
still use that well for irrigation only. You cannot bring that line into the house and cross-contaminate it with our water. So that line basically would be, the well would stay outside with a check valve that would run right to your sprinkler system with a blow-off valve.
And I'm sure there's probably not a plumber that would even attempt to do something like that and lose their license.
I wouldn't think.
I wouldn't think.
That's insane.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
think a plumber would.
that'd
Come on up
be
to the mic,
insane.
please, sir. Come on up, please.
Good evening. My name is Tony DeBacco, and I'm in the process of buying a lot at 2 Mossview Lane. And I guess first of all, I'm very thankful that you guys are doing this, because obviously it's a safety thing for me as well. And it's perfect for me because I don't have to put a well in, which is very expensive. So it's great, and I love it, and thank you very much. My question is, I'm in the process of getting into all my permits and everything. So how do I handle that, or maybe am I asking the right people? I don't know. But how do I handle that? I have to either have a permit for a well or for, pay the money, or in this case, it'll be waived at $1,500. But I guess my question is, what do I do as far as getting started with that part of?
When are you going to start this house, hopefully? What's the goal?
Well, I'm waiting for my Pineland approval, and once I get that, I'm ready to go, because I have all the other stuff done.
Okay, so the timing probably will work for you, because you don't need water probably till the fall, right?
That's when hopefully it'll be done with the house, yes.
You're hoping to probably get in November, December, by the end of the year.
Hopefully you're younger than that. I would say maybe, September, I'm thinking.
Yeah, it should work out for you. It's going to be tight.
Yeah.
You might just not do that well. You might have to a month, couple weeks.
Okay.
you know?
But as far as,
Yeah, that's, yeah.
but as far as going about the permitting process, would I speak to anybody at the construction office that I can go about doing that?
But what'll happen is, we'll know in the next 2-3 weeks here if we're definitely a go.
Great.
And at that time, we'll make them aware
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
that you won't need a well permit, and you won't need, you'll just need a hookup for water and sewer, because you have both out there.
Right, and it's waived, so it's all
Yep.
great. Thank you very much.
There will be a charge to hook up to the sewer, though.
Oh, yeah, I knew that,
The sewer
2,000.
fee.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
on
sir.
that.
Yes.
Great. Thank you.
Anybody else from the public like to be heard? Please, this is an important issue. If you have some questions, come on up to the mic, please, come on up. No question is silly. This is everybody's health, safety, and welfare. How you doing tonight?
Good. How are you? My name is Michael Peretta, and I live at 146 Cypress Court. Recently, I just inherited my father-in-law's house with my wife.
Can you keep the mic up a little higher?
My
That's it,
one
thank you.
question is, the well's 40 years old, and it's been tested perfectly fine for the last 40 years. I don't know how longer it's going to last. If it runs dry, I do have a very large swimming pool. Am I allowed to sink another well for the irrigation and the pool?
He would be allowed to, he'd have to run, but for purposes of drinking water, he'd have to connect to town water. But for irrigation purposes and for the pool, he would be able to do another well.
Okay.
And then my other question is, which I wasn't really sort of understanding, the town would run the line from the street to the house?
No, we stop at the curb. You would run the line, you're a
So then
construction,
we're
so you know.
technically responsible for a couple $1,000s.
Exactly, exactly,
If it
yes.
runs dry, we'd be forced to spend that kind of money.
If it ran dry after the first 6 months, think about it. If you, say you don't hook up, and you decide, well, I'm gonna run for a while, and you go a year, you're gonna be responsible for running the line, grouting the well, plus the 1,500.
Yeah, I understand what things cost because I do this for a living.
But I mean, it'd be all three, we're waiving one of those now. You follow me?
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah.
I've been drinking well water my whole entire life,
Yeah.
and I would never drink city water.
No, we understand, then that's your prerogative. But I would say you should get your water tested yearly, and it's about $800 or $900 to go through all the cancer-causing agents.
Okay, that's pretty much answers everything I got.
All right? Thank you. Anybody else from the public? Okay.
While we're doing this, I would say there's a good 15 residents.
Yeah.
What's the majority think here? You guys hooking up? Not? I mean, you got to give us some kind of gauge. So thumbs up is a yes? Okay. Okay.
Is there a chance it could not go through?
No, we're going.
No,
we're going.
We're gonna go.
It's just a matter in 2-3 weeks when we go.
Wait,
Ian?
Mr. Fisher, come up here.
Come on up, Ian.
You asked the question, we had to call you out.
All right. No, it was just that I'm sorry, Ian Fisher, 4 Mossview Lane. The H2O loan that you referenced, if by some chance you don't get it, then what is the next?
We're going one way or the other, sir.
Okay.
It's that important. We feel it's that important.
So the way that the H2 loans work is it's a scoring system, am I right, Mr. Raymond? So this would score high enough for us to get it, we believe. And even if we didn't get the loan at that reduced interest rate, as the mayor said, we're going to bond the project regardless.
Okay.
So.
Very good, that was it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, please, come on up to the mic, please. Come on up, please. That's what tonight's about. Let's.
So if you keep the well and it's for irrigation purposes, people in Hammonton have big gardens and they're growing their own food. So why would folks not be encouraged to cap that well or to use it only to water their grass rather than their garden?
we can't tell you what to use that well for. Everybody has to, we're adults and we're making an adult decision up here. Everybody that owns a house is an adult that saved all their life and worked all their life to pay for that house. You're making an adult decision. Whatever you choose to do, whatever dice you decide to roll, 7 come 11, Mom, I need a new pair of shoes. You want to roll the dice, roll the dice.
Well, I just would like to add, when you send the notices out, that you might include a paragraph, a hazard warning, if you are going to be using it for growing.
I think that's a great idea, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for that idea, ma'am. Thank you.
Good idea.
Okay.
Putting that same water on top of them vegetables.
All right, anybody else like to be heard, please?
And honestly, it was because of the positive test on the well that will serve as evidence, hopefully, to make us eligible for these H2 loans.
Absolutely, yes.
So
absolutely,
it
yeah.
did serve a purpose to have that done,
Yeah.
not only for your safety, but for our ability to extend the water
Right.
sewer lines out there.
Yep.
And get the financing, like you're saying.
All right. Does anybody else from the public have any more questions, please? It's that important tonight. Come on up to the mic. If not, we'll close that portion. All right, we'll close that portion. We're going to go on to a presentation for health insurance.
Thank you all for coming out.
Thank you, yeah,
Yes,
thank you
thanks
for coming
everyone for
out.
coming out.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right.
I think they should all stay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're going to have a presentation on health insurance. This is an option for our health insurance for our town employees. Tonight is the first presentation. With that, we turn it over to Lou and his team.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for the opportunity. Lou Fumey here. I'm a broker in New Jersey, and my associate Dan Miller, he's with Insurance Administrators of America. We're here to present an idea, an option for the medical replacement of the current medical program that's in Hammonton Township. Dan has mostly all the figures, but we can assure you there'll be no change in benefits. The benefits are going to remain identical. Substantial savings. We're looking at over $500,000 currently in savings, and a much better way to manage your benefits. So I'm going to give it over to Dan, if you mind, Dan.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. As Lou said, my name is Dan Miller. Thank you to Mr. Zuber, Mayor Donato, Deputy Mayor Gribben. I know we've started this process. It's been weeks. So many may or not know, the current plan is a fully insured plan through the state of New Jersey with Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield today. And on 1/1 of 2025, that program received a 16% increase. That 16% increase was a substantial amount of money for the town, equating to a roughly, let's see, what was the rough number? $400,000 increase on the annual spend for the town employees. Like I mentioned, it's a fully insured plan today. The proposal that we have on the table for the employees is to move from a fully insured plan to a self-insured medical program. That will yield same benefits for all town employees, policemen, firemen, everybody. They will receive a new ID card, right? So same benefits, they'll just get a new ID card. On that ID card, instead of it being Blue Cross Blue Shield, it's going to be Cigna. Okay, so that's the change, is we're moving from Blue Cross Blue Shield to Cigna. All right, and what does it mean to be fully insured versus self-funded? Well, the biggest thing to think about is instead of paying a check to an insurance company, you're putting that same check into a bank account in the town's name, a custodial account in the town of Hammonton's name. We, as the administrator of that account, will use the money to pay the claims for any utilization, medical or pharmacy utilization. Okay, so just to share with you a few numbers as to what that means. So from March of 2022 to February of 2023, town employees spent on the medical side $1,170,000. On the pharmacy side, it was around $1 million. So the total spend for medical plus pharmacy equated to around $2.2 million. The current spend to the insurance carrier on a monthly basis prior to 1/1/2025 was $221,000. At a 16% increase, that increased to $256,000. All right, so annualized, $2,652,000 in 2024, $3,077,000 in 2025. So moving to a self-insured plan, we can reduce spend significantly, which will impact the employees' deductions, okay? So deductions can go down out of their paychecks. The spend on insurance for healthcare will go down for the town. We can protect the town with what's called a stop-loss insurance policy or a reinsurance policy. That puts a ceiling at the maximum liability that the town would be eligible to pay if many, many claims occurred over the course of the plan year. All right? The estimated maximum cost, now we need some updated data, and I'm working with Mr. Zuber to obtain that from the state Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield plan now to make sure we have the most current data so we can firm up these numbers. So these are illustrative numbers until we have the current data. But the max cost is $2,395,458. So what does that mean? If we do the math, $2.4 million max cost on our offer through Cigna versus a $3 million spend today with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Additionally, RX or specialty drugs have rebates through the drug manufacturers. Today, Blue Cross Blue Shield retains all of those rebates. Okay, moving to self-funding, you're going to have full transparency into the data. We will know all of the drugs that are used from an RX perspective for employees at the town. We won't know names, we're not breaking any HIPAA laws, but we'll have access to the data and it will be fully transparent for us to map out 3, 5, 10 years down the road what the spend will be across the claim data, okay? Those rebates in a self-funded model through our solution for the town will be passed on to the town. All right, they're not retained by the insurance carrier. We estimate, based on the data we were able to receive, which is limited, that the top drugs could equate to around $300,000. That is an estimate, that is an illustrative number, and we won't know until about 6 to 9 months into our program of being effective with the town exactly what specialty drugs are being used and exactly what those rebates will be passed back to the town. Now I'm going to take a step back. I jumped right into the insurance side of things. I'm kind of an insurance geek. I've been doing this for 15 years. Hammonton is almost a second home for me. So I grew up in Messina, New York, and very small town like Hammonton. One of my best friends in this entire country is named Michael Mazzio. His father, Joe Mazzio, was a police officer for the town of Hammonton for 30 years. He suffered a massive heart attack, passed away, left his wife, Tammy Mazzio, who works with Mayor DiDonato at the bowling alley. Joey and Michael Mazzio are my best friends. So it's an honor to be here tonight. It's an honor to have an opportunity to save the town some money and really help the town employees receive the best possible medical care that they can, quality care at a lower cost than the Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance carrier is charging the town today on a fully insured basis. So with that, council, thank you. I'll open it up to questions.
Okay, just for everybody's knowledge, I just want to get this out there. This is a plan that's equal to what we currently have. So there will be no additional out-of-pocket expenses for anyone on our staff.
That is correct. We will match
or any
the plans.
retirees.
We will match the plans for all actives and all retirees as they are today.
So nobody's going to lose any insurance.
one's going to pay any more premium.
Nobody's going to pay any more. In fact, they're going to actually, because with the new laws from the state, if you're making over 100,000, you pay 33% of our insurance cost. So right now, a family's costing, I believe, what do we say, Frank, $39,000?
I think it's 44, yeah.
Okay, it's going up to 44, so let's call it 40 for round numbers.
Yeah.
So if you're making over $100,000 working for the town of Hammonton, you have to reimburse the town 1/3 of that $40,000, or in this case, about $13,000 and change a year. If we can bring that down to $35,000, $34,000, instead of paying $13,000, maybe you're going to pay $11,000. So you might see an extra couple thousand in your paycheck annually. So this is a win-win for the employees and a win-win for the town. And nobody loses coverage. So that's why I was interested in this personally. That's my opinion. Anybody else like to be heard?
Yeah, so you had mentioned that our increase was 16%.
Yes.
How does Cigna handle increases moving forward from here for us?
It's a good question. So there will not be any increase from Cigna. The increase going forward would be the stop-loss carrier that is managing the stop-loss claims. Okay? So Cigna is simply the network, which we lease from them. It is the PPO network, national network, just like the National Blue Cross Blue Shield network. We ran the reporting. The Cigna has 100% of the physician's offices, the specialist offices, as well as the hospitals in the 15-mile radius of Hammonton. So we shouldn't have any issues as it relates to providers. From a renewal perspective, it really becomes a question of how the claims run as compared to what underwriting believes they will run. So I mentioned, and again, the data, we're still waiting from the state. It's a challenge to get clean data from them. Another area that we can improve on from a transparency perspective, we had 1.1 million in medical claims in the 2022 to 2023 plan year. The stop-loss carrier is really expecting, from a tolerable perspective, $1,633,000, $354. So they're leaving a cushion there. And all stop-loss carriers include what's called a corridor. Generally, it's a 25% increase on the expected claim number to give a cushion. And that cushion is to say, okay, if they run poorly, we don't want to hit them with a 16% increase. Our goal is to keep them single-digit increases if there needs to be an increase at all. Okay, I have a client I'm seeing tomorrow that got hit with a 38% increase from Oxford United Healthcare, and it's staggering. So the objective with this underwriting is to manage that claim fund, and as I told Deputy Mayor Gribben, I said we'll max fund. So what that means is we'll take the expected claim number plus the specific and the aggregate deductible premiums, and we'll put all of that money into a bank account. That's what we draw for claims. And at the end of the year, the goal is to have a surplus on that. So not only are we bringing premium down approximately $50,000 per month on the monthly spend, the objective here is to have a surplus in the town of Hammonton's custodial claims account for claim dollars that did not get spent, versus it going to the insurance carrier regardless of what gets used.
And if there's money left over in that account, right? Let's say there's 100 or 200,000. You could leave it right in that account and do the same thing next year, right? So now you have a little larger of a cushion.
Correct. So right now we're using a deductible of $75,000 per covered member, and that's really what equates to that underwriting number of $1,633,000. Okay, and as we make that number bigger, the more liability on the town, but premiums also come down. So as we think about future renewals, we have a lot of flexibility, and we'll have a much clearer line of sight into the data to better project what years 2, 3, 4, 5 will look like for medical spend.
All right, and the last question I have is, I assume Horizon negotiates with doctors as to what they're going to pay them, right?
Yes.
How does that work with Cigna?
Same. It works identically the same.
So, in other words, if a procedure costs $800 from Horizon, it costs $800 from Cigna. It's not going to be $1,200 for Cigna, we're not.
No, it could be different.
It could be totally different on the negotiated pricing.
It could be 1,000 with Verizon and 500 with Cigna or vice versa. But
Correct.
So all your computations take that into account?
They do not. They do not, but it doesn't matter.
We screen each claim for fraud, waste, and abuse also, their company, IAA.
Yes. Okay, so right now with Blue Cross Blue Shield, whether the negotiated price for an MRI, I'll use MRI as an example, right? Common screening. So you go to MRI, say it's $500 with Blue Cross. If it's $1,000 with Cigna, okay, that's a difference, no question about it. You don't realize that savings with Blue Cross. They keep it all anyway. Does that make sense? You're paying the copay as a member, as an employee, I pay my copay, and I'm covered 100%. That will be the same for the employees going forward. The difference in that $500 falls back on us as the administrator to say and negotiate that with the provider. Okay, so we do that as the negotiation.
Saving you a lot of money by negotiating every claim, not just paying it out like Verizon, just page-based.
Yep, auto adjudication.
500% over cost for claims, and the charges on the hospitals are only 500%.
Yep. So this applies to both medical as well as pharmacy. Yep.
Okay.
It's a good question.
All right, is anybody else, please?
Mayor was concerned about the benefits, that they weren't changing at all, and we made sure that they're not changing.
Yeah, we must have drilled down on that 10 times. And I just need everybody to understand, whether you're at home tonight and you're retired, or you're here with us and you're working, you will not pay any more, or any less out of your pocket than you currently do.
And your benefits will remain the same.
Benefits will
remain the same, and you will not pay any more money.
With regard to the prescription plan, is it a new formulary or?
Yes, so the formulary becomes CVS, and so the ID card that comes to each enrolled member would have Cigna and CVS on it. But that doesn't mean you can't go to Walgreens, Walmart, or local pharmacy here in Hammonton.
Would we would be required then to do a disruption study?
It would be a good idea to pull a provider utilization report for folks utilizing particular providers in the area, and we can run that, stack that up against the current Horizon plan, yes. Just to make sure if somebody has a procedure, and we want to make sure they're with Cigna as well.
Right. But in terms of the prescriptions that some may currently be on, we want to make sure that that doesn't become a...
CVS will cover everything that they have today.
Okay.
Absolutely. All right. CVS is the biggest pharmacy benefit manager in the country.
Okay, that brings, they'll cover it, that's understandable. Now, what about sometimes you go to a doctor and they say, the insurance company, we need a letter from the doctor to get you that prescription, or
Pre-auth.
Pre-auth.
That's required.
That's still required.
It's still, yes, that process will remain the same.
That'll remain the same.
Yep. So
But that won't, it's not any more challenging for the patient.
No, if anything, it's
For the
easier
employee.
because they'll have our local service team in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, which is where our office is. The client manager will be there. Our whole call center team will be in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, to be able to assist employees and their families 8 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. Monday to Friday.
And so you have a contract with Cigna?
We do.
And how long has that relationship been?
We've had it since 1992.
Okay.
So 30-plus years.
That's the national access, by the way. So if you move to Florida, you still have coverage, everywhere. It's a great thing.
And we had them confirm that if this was something we entertained, that the providers were all covered by, all accepted this insurance as well. And that's what Dan meant when he said 100%.
All right. I think what we have to do, if council wants to, I guess, Frank, right, we have to go to the unions with this, right?
Correct.
We have to go to all the unions and get their blessing, their sign off. And then,
Our labor attorney will do that.
yeah.
And with the state, I sent an email earlier today, like you said, excuse me. earlier, 60 days.
60 days.
We have to pass a resolution if we're gonna leave. So they sent me the paperwork, so we have to talk to the unions and then.
All right, so let's talk to the unions, if council wants to. Let's talk to the unions, because let's see where we go, and if we come back in the March meeting and see what the response was, we'll discuss the response from the unions, and we'll discuss it a little more in depth. Does that make sense to everybody?
No pressure, it's there on the table if you find it to be suitable, fit, let's, you know.
By the March meeting, it's about a month from now, will you have all the data you need from the state to kind of make a more of an ironclad number here?
That's on, yeah, I mean, I hope to have it.
Okay.
They have a certain amount of time to.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll send an updated list.
Don't forget, the state's not in a hurry to do this, because
By the way, you won't not only save money, but every year you're going to avoid that 16% increase, which in 5 years could be, you know, 5 million.
Yeah.
Where's this money going to come from?
Are there any other municipalities that you service?
We manage a number of municipalities. Our one most closely here is City of Hoboken, that we've had for a number of years, who's a reference that I've shared and welcome for the town and the council to reach out to.
We've been working with Frank for about 2 years on various things, and he has all the information on it, fully disclosed.
All right. Thank you both
Thank
very
you.
much. We're going to
Yep.
talk to our labor attorney and the unions. We'll get back to you.
Thank you, council. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for your time tonight. Appreciate you. Frank, you want to recess for a couple minutes? We're going to take a 5-minute recess, gang.
Yeah.
We're going to shut this. All right, Hammonton, here we go. I think we went through the big part of the meeting. We're going to try to, we have a resolution to bring up, 038-2025, temporary capital budget. This is environmental remediation, $283,000, $14,000 from the capital improvement fund, and we're going to authorize $268,850 in debt. Can I get a motion?
This is for K&K, Skinner, Salona, and Mazza property. That's what it's
Yep.
for.
Thank you.
It's for some environmental work that we have to do. And we're hoping down the road to get a grant to reimburse us. Can I
So
get a-
moved.
Gribbon first.
Second.
Second, Rodeo. Any council input, any discussion?
Nope.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson Pajoni,
Yes.
Gribbon,
Yes.
Marino,
Yes.
R. Rodeo,
Yes.
S. Rodeo.
Yes.
Mayor DiDonato.
Yes, motion carried. With that, we'll jump into committee reports, and Deputy Mayor Gribbon, administration, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Administration Committee met on February 12th. As we discussed, we met with Dan and Lou to discuss health care. We requested the presentation that they gave just a few moments ago. There were no action items on tonight's agenda from the Administration Committee. However, recently, I was made aware of the fact that Gloucester County Mayors Association authorized a letter to the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities. And in that letter, they expressed concerns and they raised opposition to proposed utility rate increases, specifically by Atlantic City Electric. And I think, we should, as a council, I would like to make a motion to propose that mayor and council authorize and issue a similar correspondence to the Board of Public Utilities, as residents of Hammonton will be similarly affected by any proposed and unjust rate increases.
And I think they're asking for another 12 or 18%, some ridiculous double
I
digit.
believe it's 17%.
16 or 17%.
It's a ridiculous number, I saw.
Another 8 above that.
I know it is.
All right. Additional, anybody else have opinion, want to be heard on the BPU levy?
I'll put that in the form of a motion.
I'll second that.
Yes.
Gribbon first?
I'll
Lucy?
second that.
For Joni, second. Discussion. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. That'll conclude my Administration Committee report, and in Councilman Oliva's absence, I can give his Business and Industry report.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you. Restaurant Week, the last day is tomorrow. That's February 25th. 13 restaurants in our town feature special offers to showcase Hammonton's culinary scene, and we would encourage all residents to take advantage of Restaurant Week. Grants that have been awarded recently, the Atlantic County Community Arts Grant, the town received $7,800. It will go towards events such as the Hammonton Arts and Music Festival, Fiesta for Hispanic Heritage Month, the Mistletoe Mart that is featured during the town tree lighting, along with ongoing efforts to support and enhance the arts in Hammonton. New businesses that are opening soon, we have Cape Regional Urgent Care, which will be opening in March. As many of our residents know, this is the site of the old Sears building in downtown Hammonton. It's significant, I think, for a number of reasons, right? So we have Cooper and Cape May Regional looked at Hammonton and specifically sought to build this urgent care here in Hammonton, spending quite a significant amount of money to rehab a building that has been vacant for 20-plus years, at least. No infrastructure, right? And they chose Hammonton instead of moving to another town where they could have built a similar facility at practically, half the cost of what they're spending here in Hammonton. So I think it's a testament to our Main Street. It's a testament to town that they are investing in our community, and we really welcome them, and we think it will be indeed a welcomed addition. It will certainly be, as many of us have seen already, the work that they're doing to the facade, and we're all looking forward to seeing what the inside of that building will be, and that'll be opening soon. Other businesses opening, we'll have Kelly Loader Travel. Actually, will be moving to the street level of Bellevue, and we'll be having a ribbon cutting for that soon as well. Main Street Hammonton will be having its 2025 gala. That'll occur on March 29th. I am told that tickets are still available to the second annual gala. There's a cocktail hour, 3-course dinner, open bar, dancing, a silent auction. This is all in support of the Hammonton community. Every dollar raised from this event will go directly towards downtown revitalization efforts, including beautification projects, small business support, and community events. That is all for tonight's Business and Industry Committee report. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Gribben. We'll go over to Quality of Life and Councilwoman Rodeo.
Thank you, Mayor. The historic walking tour of the downtown area will be this Saturday, March the 1st, from 1 to 3 p.m. Please meet at the Eagle Theater by 1 p.m. There will be a $5 donation from each adult. The environmental cleanup will take place on March the 8th from 10 a.m. to noon. Come early and register. There will be morning and afternoon refreshments. Be part of making our community stronger and cleaner. And lastly, the community market will start up again in June, and it'll go through September. It'll be the 4th Friday, and it will be from 5 to 8. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman Rodeo. We'll jump over to Education and Councilman Marino.
Thank you, Mayor. I attended the Board of Education meeting on February 13th, and they honored Teachers of the Year that evening, and along with Assemblyman Teresi, who passed out a proclamations. I'd like to just give those teachers some recognition. I'm sure everybody up here appreciates what they do for our students, and we have a aggressive school board who pushes a lot of, if you would, excuse me here, it also pushes a lot of programs that benefit our students. Mr. Teresi also, I would like to say, gave a proclamation to Miss Courtney Thompson of Hammonton Early Childhood Education Center, Kelly Salona of the Hammonton High School, Alyssa Walsh of Hammonton Middle School, and Miss Lyons of the Warren East Soy School. First of all, Mayor, let me thank you for putting me on this committee. I had the opportunities over the past year for being able to meet a lot of the teachers and, of course, everyone on the school board. I'm very proud of what each and every one of them do. I believe our students are getting a great education, and I couldn't be happier. I look forward to going to the meetings every month. So on behalf of everybody up here on council, congratulations to all the teachers for winning Teacher of the Year. And I'm looking forward to seeing you next month. Thank you. That's my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Marino. We'll jump over to Public Works and Transportation. Councilman Rodeo.
Mayor, my report will be very short. I know we want to move on here tonight. We have no action items, and Frank has, I believe, 3 different items that he will speak about when he comes up in his report. So I will call that my entire report. I think I've done a very good job right there.
That's it.
Thank you. We can move on.
Thank you, Councilman Rodeo. We'll jump over to Water and Sewer. Councilman Frigioni.
Mayor, I think we covered plenty this evening on the water and sewer side. Just a quick thing I'd like to ask if we could. I'd like to authorize the mayor to write, or maybe if Mr. Muncy could pen it, a letter of concern regarding the Route 54 project with this whole bike lane situation. I don't know if it's going to get us anywhere, but I just think that this is really not the best way to go about things, putting a bike lane on either side of Bellevue Avenue.
So when somebody does a parallel parking and opens the door like me,
Yeah.
throws the door open, I take a biker out, you mean?
Yeah, I've been thinking about it. It's been like, bothering me. So if that's okay, I'll make a motion to have the mayor, Mr. Muncy, draft a letter for the mayor to send to the state.
And Mayor, I'll second that.
Frigioni first, second Marino. Discussion.
If nothing else, we have something on record,
Yeah.
really, that, the town really doesn't, I won't say the town, some of us up here oppose it. I'll word it that way.
I think we all oppose it.
I do.
All right. Any other discussion?
Well, Mayor, I'm very uncomfortable with the entire project. I mean, obviously, the state's going to do what they want to do, and as Councilman Forgione stated at the last meeting, this is a 2-year project. People are going to be inconvenienced. Everyone up here, and even the folks that were sat here before us, has worked very hard to bring this town back. Bellevue Avenue and in different locations, and we've got businesses built up. One of my concerns is how that's going to affect these businesses. And the other concern I have is where they're detouring all this traffic. These roads are not designed for these heavy trucks to be constantly going up and down them all hours of the day and night. And just the basic increase in traffic alone, putting the tractor trailers aside and dump trucks and stuff like that. So I don't understand why they can't work with us on our concerns. So.
Okay. Anybody else? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And maybe the chief, I don't know, Chief, come on up, we'll do a law and order if we're done there. Are you done, Councilman Forgione?
I'm done, thank you, yes, I'm
We'll
done.
do a quick law and order, and maybe the chief would have some input for Mr. Malinsky for that letter also. I don't know.
With regards to the bike lane, by Title 39 code, any bicyclist is supposed to ride with the direction of traffic and ride to the rightmost portion of the lane, except for when executing turns. So even being a bike patrol officer myself, as the mayor pointed out, you always have to watch out for people opening car doors. But I believe that the bike lane probably isn't going to cause the most inconvenience other than it being marked out. We do have people that ride bicycles through the downtown, and they do, execute that by riding to the rightmost portion of the lane. I don't know if having it marked out is really what the town wants. Maybe further up the area of Bellevue Avenue where there aren't cars parked, I can agree with that. But in the downtown area where the parking spaces are, maybe they can break from marking that portion out and just make the bike lane the rest of that route. That might be something that would be more amenable with our town.
Yeah.
Let's pen a letter and see where we go.
And other than that, we have a You Text, You Drive, You Pay grant application that we're filling out, which will be for the month of April. We are applying for funding so that this way we can have some extra targeted enforcement. And again, the speed sign is traveling around the downtown area and our residential areas. So we are taking information from those to make guided and targeted enforcement for speed violations. Other than that, that's all I have this evening, sir.
Thanks, Chief. We'll jump over to Mr. Raymond and the engineer's report.
As Councilman Rodeo said, we have no action items, so I'll make it up next month, though, I promise.
Okay.
Good
We
luck
see
with
there's,
all
we
that.
see there's a bunch of them real close to being complete, so
Yes.
I'm sure you,
I'm trying to get those over the finish line.
I'm sure you're coming.
Mr. Malinsky.
I have no action items this evening, so everyone have a good night.
All right.
I like
All right.
this.
Zoom, come on, bring us home. You have no action items,
No
right?
action items. Have a motion to adjourn?
First.
Under Public Works action, we just have a couple updates. Just Old Forks Road, the installation of water and sewer service ladders has been delayed due to weather, and the payment will occur in the spring. And I'm sure we will be in touch with the school to let them know. With the engineer, we'll coordinate that. Airport taxiway project. The excavation along the taxiway will be completed once the weather breaks. This is the final punch list item, and once completed, the final invoice will be processed, and the project will be complete. Also, I wanted to mention too, last month that Triad was here in the Lake Park grant for the additional equipment for Jake's Law. The application was submitted on February 5th, and it's about approximately $1 million, and we should know sometime in July. So hopefully we get that grant for Lake Park. That'll be a great thing.
That'd be a great addition, right?
Yes, add some more equipment down there. Trash collection, bulky waste for March will be from the 3rd to the 7th. Brush pickup for March will be the 10th through the 14th. And the county recycling pickup for March will be the 3rd through the 7th and the 17th through the 21st. Under the town clerk's report, we have a couple items here. First thing is to appoint Frank Sacco as zoning officer for the town of Hammonton effective February 8th of 2025. He passed his state exam and is certified to become the zoning officer. Approve new fire company approve new fire company number 1 members, Frank Skanga and Michael Shannon. This will be effective February 24th of 2025. Background check complete. Approved by fire company number 1 at their meeting on February 19th. Approval to hire Linda Slim as a part-time dispatcher. This will be retroactive to February 3rd of 2025. Hourly rate of $18.50 an hour, 20 hours per week with no benefits. The fourth is accept resignation of Dalton Scola from his position with the Hammonton Police Department. This will be effective March 3rd of 2025. Approval to hire Andrew Spatola as a laborer, full-time in the Highway Department, single benefits, 40 hours a week, and salary to follow the current contract. And this is contingent upon all civil service rules and regulations. And finally, approval of new salary rates for the blue-collar contract with the Highway and the Recreation Departments. Approval as read.
So moved.
Gribbon first.
Second.
Second, R. Rodeo. Discussion. I just want to add that we are losing a police officer, Dalton Scola. He was an excellent officer, but Chief's working on 2 new hires as we speak. We just have to work out some details. So hopefully more to come on those 2 in the March meeting. Okay. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson for Joni?
Yes.
Gribbon?
Yes.
Marino?
Yes.
R. Rodeo?
Yes.
S. Rodeo?
Yes.
Mayor DiDonato.
Yes, motion carried.
Approval of bill list?
So moved.
Gribbon first.
Second.
Second, R. Rodeo.
We got to pay him.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Councilperson for Joni?
Yes.
Gribbon?
Yes.
Marino?
Yes.
R. Rodeo?
Yes.
S. Rodeo?
Yes.
Mayor DiDonato.
Yes, motion carried.
We have introduction of bond ordinance 2 of 2025. This is for the environmental remediations that we spoke for earlier. The capital budget amendment.
Motion from council, please.
Motion, Mayor.
Marino first.
Second, Mayor.
Second for Joni. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Councilperson for Joni?
Yes.
Gribbon?
Yes.
Marino?
Yes.
R. Rodeo?
Yes.
S. Rodeo?
Yes.
Mayor DiDonato.
Yes, motion carried.
Introduction of bond ordinance 3 of 2025. This is for reappropriation of funds for the centrifuge. It's $113,000 of reappropriations from ordinance number 24 of 23 and ordinance 24 of 23.
Motion from council, please.
Motion, Mayor.
Second, Mayor.
For Joni first, Rodeo second. S. Rodeo second. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Councilperson for Joni?
Yes.
Gribbon?
Yes.
Marino?
Yes.
R. Rodeo?
Yes.
S. Rodeo?
Yes.
Mayor DiDonato.
Yes, motion carried.
Resolutions, we have Resolution 39. This is to participate in the county LEAP grant for aerial imagery. Resolution 40, approval of Tri-Vets Memorial Parade. Resolution 41, approval of Green Day Committee Market. Resolution 42, approval to enter in an agreement with Atlantic County to purchase salt and brine. Resolution 43, approval of various refunds. Resolution 44, approval of tax water sewer refunds. Resolution 45, authorize Hammonton Arts and Music Festival. Resolution 46, approval of Easter extravaganza. Resolution 47, authorize cruise in Main Street. Resolution 48, approve temporary budget appropriations. Resolution 49, cancel prior year unexpected grant balances. And Resolution 50, cancel unexpected improvement authorizations. Approval as read.
Motion from council, please.
Motion, Mayor.
Marino first.
Second.
Second, R. Rodeo. Discussion on any of the resolutions. Seeing none, roll call, please.
Councilperson for Joni?
Yes.
Gribbon?
Yes.
Marino?
Yes.
R. Rodeo?
Yes.
S. Rodeo?
Yes.
Mayor DiDonato.
Yes, motion carried.
Concludes my report, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Did you go get your picture with the Lombardi yet?
Not yet, I'm on my way. Can't say that about the Steelers, though.
Second of two opportunities for the public to be heard. If anybody would like to come up and talk to us? Seeing no one, I guess we'll close that second public portion. Is there anything else for the good of the order from council? I'd accept the motion then to adjourn the meeting.
Motion, Mayor.
Rodeo first.
Second.
Second. S. Rodeo first, R. Rodeo second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Good night, Hammonton. Good night.